In the Judeo-Christian tradition, we love to tell stories. If you were at Mass today, there were a few stories that you heard. For example, in the first reading, we heard from the book of Maccabees about Eleazar and his 7 sons, their refusal to eat pork, and how that story makes the foundation of one of the Jewish festivals. And then we have in our gospel today another story. And if you think about the gospels, for example, St. Luke, who we hear from today, that St. Luke had to put together these stories. And so St. Luke has gone around, he's talked to people, he's interviewed them, he's amassed countless stories of the ministry of Jesus. And he says, these are the ones I'm going to write down and put into this book, this gospel. And the story of Zacchaeus was one of them. A very important story, I think, too. It shows the repentance of Zacchaeus. He's going to pay back for the wrong that he has done, for the money that he has extorted. He says to Jesus, come stay at my house today. It's a wonderful story. You could unpack it and you can find so much there. And then today, we also have the feast day, the memorial of Saint Rose Philippine Duchesne. She happens to be one of my favorite saints. I came across her story in the little Ordo, and then I read about it elsewhere. But a beautiful little story about how she was ministering to the Native Americans, and she was praying before the Blessed Sacrament in the church. And they came, and they put little acorns or little chestnuts on her habit. And they came back the next day, and they saw that these acorns, these chestnuts, were still there. And so they called her Woman Who Prays Always. I always thought it was such a beautiful story. And the same is true about another story, where she is said to have gotten on a horse and went for a long ride on the horse in order to go to confession. And so her story encourages us to want to seek out God's mercy as well. The stories of the saints encourage us and inspire us to be better followers and disciples of Jesus. As Catholics, we love the stories of the saints. We love the stories of the scriptures. And they're stories that were written long ago, stories of people who lived long ago. But yet they're stories we still tell today that we can appreciate all the more as they speak to us in our current context.